Leonard Katzman called me, and he said they weren't going to pick up my contract, and I was shocked. I mean, I was in a total state of shock. And he started to cry, and he said, look, it's nothing you did, it's just we don't know what to do with your character or whatever, and I don't know if that was BS or what. I mean, to this day, I have no idea.
JR moved out of South Fork? What a great day to come back home.
Discouraged with what they were telling him to do. They would say, play it meaner, play it more mean-spirited. And George found a sympathy for the character and the role. The guy was not JR of Dallas. It was a different character.
There was always some sort of covert activities with George on the phone. I didn't know if it was the network or the producers. He was sweating all the time.
My husband and I went to Aaron, and we went to ABC, and we said, you know, there aren't enough days in our lives for this, and we're going to walk away from this, and, you know, you can do the show, but we're not going to work with this person.
Imagine what it's going to be like when the series is #1 in the ratings. So they fired George Peppard.
The others still trapped.
Chase.
You know, when we first came here, all I wanted was a decent place for my family and a business I could be proud of, but you couldn't abide it. You've never been able to leave us alone.
Well, why didn't you move to Wyoming and stay off of my land?
Your land? Don't be absurd.
I'm not absurd. Where were you 15 years ago when it didn't rain for 6 months and I watched all the vines wither? Haven't you waited long enough? When are you going to tell Maggie you're alive?
So, what are you going to do now, Susan? Are you continuing in
No,
Dallas?
I'm being written out of the show.
Shame.
Write them and tell them. They decided, I was called in 2 weeks before the show finished and informed that my character no longer had any validity on the show. That's what they said. This is what they said, and it had run its course, and they could think of no story ideas for me, so they were not going to pick up my contract.
After how many years?
7.
Oh, my.
So you see, you don't get too close to it.
No. Or get too comfortable either.
You don't, no. And everything comes to an end, sooner or later.
Where are you going, Blake? Blake, just a minute. Don't go yet. Where are you going, Blake? I'm not finished with you yet. Blake, listen to me. Blake, I don't want you to go away. I'm not as dumb as you think I am.
I felt in the end, you know, she kind of died a horrible death. That was, I mean, there were reasons that happened behind the scenes, and I didn't want her to go badly. I really didn't want her to go badly.
Liars. All of them.
Maggie, I'm sorry about all this.
So am I.
No propuse que muriera, ni tampoco me gustó cómo moría. Mi contrato ya concluía y yo quería dedicarme a la comedia. Es que durante tanto tiempo había estado llorando, sufriendo, suspirando, que quería hacer algo más ligero. Ya estaba harta. Pero por lo menos quería que muriera de una manera etérea.
Nada.
Bueno, no les voy a decir cómo se muere.
Hey, Baba.
JR?
This is an unexpected pleasure.
Yes, well, I wanted to talk to you alone.
Oh, sounds serious. You and Clayton having any problems?
Donna's agent called one day, and he said, I don't know how to
tell you this, but you've just been fired. And he said they didn't have an explanation, they just fired him. And she was in a state of shock.
The original Miss Ellie, Barbara Bel Geddes, was homesick for South Fork.
When Barbara agreed to come back and negotiations went well, John had to leave the show. It was that simple.
But with 2 years left to run on her contract, the TV veteran was not going to go down without a fight.
She insisted that she get paid the full contract, and we went to court.
Now, Mama, I want you to have a wonderful trip, and don't you dare worry about me.
I'll try not to.
Don't you dare do it.
The show was very wonderful for me because it gave me a kind of work as an actor that I'd never had. By that I mean a place to come for a period of time that would go on, and a group of actors who I really cherished, and this interesting character, Lily Mae Clemens.
It was a very kind of convoluted situation, colored by the fact that I had just had a baby, that I didn't realize that this was going to be happening, and that I'd been doing the show for so long, and, you know, I don't think you're prepared for death in real life, and I certainly wasn't prepared for it on Knots Landing, so.
Hold on. Just hold on. Hold on. Don't.
I just think that they made a decision, you know, new producers were brought in, and as always, producers have their own ideas, their own concepts, and, you know, and this producer, you know, in all fairness, also had a connection to a different actress that he wanted to bring on to really take the place of Melissa. So, you know, and I think that was the beginning of the change that was to happen in Falcon Crest. I think the heart was lost, and therefore the show began, you know, to decline. And I think coming back as Samantha was a lot of fun. I loved playing Samantha, but she was no longer connected to those people. There was no longer the relationships, the family, those things that hold a show together that make viewers watch every week after week.
We couldn't touch. You know, there was like a ruler on the table when our hands were together, and a ruler that had like so many inches that your fingers can be from each other. We couldn't actually touch.
He wasn't happy, we weren't happy, and we used it as an opportunity to let him go.
I know there was a lot of yelling up there.
I asked for a $2,500 raise per episode, which is not really very much. And they said, no, absolutely not.
Catherine wanted to be off the show after a while.
My agent had a conversation with Aaron, and he said she would like to be let out of the show. And Aaron said, okay, we won't say anything to the press, and she won't say anything to the press. And that was my end, and I held my end of the bargain. The next day in the Hollywood Reporter, on the front page, the headline was Oxenberg terminated, and I was like, oh my God, I was so devastated.
I'll never leave John Ross here with you.
Oh, really? Well, let me tell you something, honey. You're gonna leave on your own, or you're gonna be driven off. But one way or another, you're out of here, because this marriage is over.
It'll be over when I say it is.
Then say it, Sue Ellen. And save yourself another trip to the sanitarium.
They did something horrible, Sue Ellen drank. JR did something really dreadful, and I'd have an affair. And then I'd have another affair, and I'd drink some more, and I'd have another affair and drink and have an affair. So I had two things I was good at, right?
And after taking classes to develop her skills, Linda approached the producers of Dallas with a proposition.
I went to them and I said, you know, I'd like to direct one episode. And they said, no.
They were male chauvinist pigs, that's why. Male chauvinist pigs don't like women directing.
I said, well, I don't want any more money. In the next 2-year contract period, I'd like to direct one episode. And they said, no. And I said, but that's all I want to do, just one. And so they said, no, and they fired me.
I solved that by saying, look, here's the way we do it. I gave her one of my jobs, and they said, well, we can't do it. And I said, you have to. Why? Because I'm asking you nicely. Oh, okay. It was as simple as that.
You'll never know if or when I plan to make it public just to humiliate you. Just for laughs. I said, please don't kill me. I said, no showers and no disease of the month. This was in a letter to Mr. Katzen. And I said, I would like you not to kill me so that I can come back and raise a little hell itself.